Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to Season 2, Episode 96 of the UK Dallas Cowboys Fan Club podcast. Tonight I'm joined by my Scottish brothers, Graham and Paul, and by the wonderful Mr. Richard Jones down in the valleys in Wales. How are we all, gentlemen? How was Christmas?
Sweet. It's good to be, mate, to be honest. It's just one of those ones where it was just good to see some of the family,
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
100%, yeah. Literally, like, my kids came down Christmas morning and their granddad was just sat in the kitchen and they were just like, the frick is that? Brilliant, because they hadn't seen him since, like, they were literally born, I think. So it was, they were just like, you're not on the phone. What the hell is this? Apart from that, good.
And I think the sleep-in was the biggest bonus for you, Graham, was it? Can't hear you, Graham.
Gotta unmute.
He's definitely unmuted.
Graham?
Say something. There we go.
That was weird.
That was really weird. Turn it off and on again.
To recap, 8:30 in the morning from an 18-month-old can never be underestimated. Never underestimate that. Tremendous.
No, definitely not. And I think we all got a wonderful Christmas present from our much beloved Dallas Cowboys on Sunday evening.
Fucking yes!
17.
Fuck them Eagles.
Suck a dick.
Yeah, me and Richard just have no filter when it comes to the Eagles. So
sorry, no censor. I don't care. Sorry, everyone. Not sorry.
No, when it comes to that dirty trash bag, hoe bag team.
Hoe bag is a new one.
Hoe bag. You can say whatever the hell you like about them.
Oh,
we can turn the air blue. But we ended up winning 37-17. We are now 6-9 on the season.
Fuck yeah, we are.
Join first in the NFC East.
Somehow.
It's not a huge commitment. It's not.
I know.
Are we really getting carried away with that? I mean,
no.
Yeah, fuck it. It's 2020, man.
I'll take it. Who knows? 2020 could be the fact that we could actually, who knows? We might actually make a playoff run. Who the fuck knows?
Well, I saw on Twitter earlier today. So if we do win on Sunday and the football team don't win, that we only have to beat Tom Brady,
easy,
Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes to win the Super Bowl.
Doable.
I mean, doable.
Let's do it.
It's absolutely doable.
Any given Sunday.
It's 2020, baby. Let's do it.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, yes.
Here's the first question, right? Do we want the Eagles to beat Washington this weekend? I'm going to say yes. Of course we do.
Yeah.
Why not?
Do we not need the Eagles to beat Washington?
We need to.
It's not so much wanting the Eagles to win. It's I'm happy with Washington losing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that is the perfect comeback to anybody saying that we want the Eagles to win. You just say, "Nah, I just want the Redskins to lose."
It's just like whenever England play France.
As long as the Redskins lose, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like whenever England play France, it's like I never want to watch England win, but I'm quite happy to watch France lose. You know, same thing.
Yeah, this is the weirdest of seasons, and it's only getting weirder.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Mike Nolan is on the verge of saving his job. Let's not beat around the bush. This is unbelievable.
How crazy is that?
This is a stellar defense developing, and they need to think very, very carefully about what they're going to do with Mike Nolan in the offseason, because right now that defense is trending upward. Make no mistake about it.
The only thing is that I'm most worried about is the consistency part. That is,
yeah, we've talked about it before. Yeah, and also that I think we're starting to see the Mike McCarthy core coming out in December. Certainly with the Packers, he knows how to win down the road, and we're seeing it. I mean, when was the last? I couldn't tell you the last time the Cowboys won 3 games in a row throughout any season. I mean, I think you're probably going back to
2014.
Yeah,
I just couldn't tell you the last time.
2016 and 2014. It's one of those 2 seasons.
2016 they went 8 unbeaten, which was 8 or 9 unbeaten, which was a new record.
You can throw up. It hasn't been the most difficult of stretch to win the 3 games, but you can only beat who's put in front of you. I mean, we're still talking about some of the best players in the world, even though they're playing on losing teams. We're still talking about some of the best players in the world, and they're bringing wins from somewhere.
Yeah.
It's almost as if people pulled their fingers out of their asses and actually cracked on.
Well, there's many reasons behind that. One, their jobs are on the line. Just don't forget, half of that whole roster are going to be free agents next year. So they're playing for their jobs. They're playing for people to try and sign them in the free agency or whatever next season. So they need to ball out. They need to put in the game time. So
or it could just be the magic of smashing watermelons. You know, it could just be. And Whataburger references. So, double up with cheese. Everyone loves it.
Yes, you can't beat that. But before we go much further, we'll do our usual shout out at this point in the program. So, Paul, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, sure. Guys, if you are planning going to a Dallas Cowboys game next year, be sure to go and check out Cowboys Experience for the ultimate meet and greet, tailgate, and game day experience. For myself and Jamie, who have been with Cowboys Experience for in multiple occasions, we cannot speak any more highly than these guys. Barry and Michael and everyone at Cowboys Experience will treat you like royalty, and that is a fact. So if you are planning next year, be sure to book with Cowboys Experience and use the discount code UK Cowboys. And Rich, leave it to you to leave the final mark in that.
Now, this is very simple, and I'm going to say it as plainly as possible because even an Eagles fan could get this right. Use the code, get free stuff. Is that easy?
Yeah.
Don't be a clown. Use the code.
Brian, I had a wee question from Austin. Austin, didn't we win 5 in a row in 2018? And I just double checked that we did. We had a 5 in a row wins that year, and the only loss we had since then was the Colts. So we could have been 8-0, but that was the game that we completely got 0 points. We lost 23-0 against the Colts that year.
No, it's very true. This is our other big shout out that we always say. Get your comments into us. We bring most of the comments up as they come in. Otherwise, we're just 4 guys here talking about football amongst ourselves. Get your comments in. Let us know what you thought about the game. Let us know what you thought about the result. Let us know what you thought about us kicking the living SH1T out of a bunch of girls from Philadelphia.
Especially if it's throwing shade at Philly. Especially if it's throwing shade. Use all the profanity.
I need to answer this one. So Austin, so players previously in the past, I've met players like Travis Frederick, Michael Gallup is a prime example, Jalen Smith, Zach Martin, Drew Pearson, Hall of Famer now. Trying to figure who else. Ed Too Jones. I mean, and not to mention is that you get to meet former Dallas cheerleaders as well. I mean, it does mix it up. Met Cole Beasley as well when he was still at Dallas. So unfortunately now he's with the bloody Bills. Screw him now. But anyway, but you get the idea. You get to meet former players and current players as well. So honestly, when it comes to the Cowboys Experience, go and check them out.
Yeah, if you ask someone that question and they have to stop and think, that's generally a good indication.
Yeah.
Who have I actually met?
Yeah, I mean we've like we had Barry on the show for the Thanksgiving show, and he had Lincoln Coleman lined up for his former running back for the Cowboys. And unfortunately, we couldn't get coordinated with Kenny Gant to get Kenny on the show as well. But the Shark wanted to come on the show with us.
Man,
so these are the people you can meet. So hopefully, touch wood, we're all able to go out to Dallas next year for the 2021 season. Get out there, use code, don't be a clown.
I've got a really good, interesting question, and it is technically non-Cowboys related here.
Use my tagline.
But it is in our division, and it's the thoughts on Dwayne Haskins getting released.
We're just going to actually jump into that.
Really?
We're just about to jump into that on the injuries and the latest news.
Good unintentional segue.
Absolutely, we love a segue. We absolutely love a segue. So the only injury news I've seen so far, and guys, if you know any more, shout it out. But Zach Martin might be able to go this week. They're seeing if he's available to train from tomorrow. Graham, I'm going to throw this over to you in terms of Kellen Moore. You've been on the bandwagon that Kellen Moore could be headed out of Dallas in the off season. It looks like he's Boise State bound.
Yeah, so to bring anybody up to speed that doesn't know, offensive coordinator Kellen Moore interviewed with Boise State prior to Sunday's game. As my understanding of it is that he's one of two in the running, and if it was down to me, I would say he's in pole position. He is ex-Boise State alum, so he knows the facility, he knows the people who are in the facility. And generally, if you interview for a job, you're interested in said job. You don't really go interview during a game week if you're not really interested in taking the job. So unless an NFL team asks about his availability, I would say that Kellen Moore is off to Boise. I mean, good on the guys. I think he's 32 years old, and to be given a job as a head coach in
of a top school.
School, yeah. The only thing I would say is there a possibility of him getting a head coaching job in the NFL? Would he want a head coaching job in the NFL? Does he want to go to college and cut his teeth there first? We do tend to see more head coaches coming from college nowadays. Some of them work out, some of them don't. You only have to look at the Philadelphia history to see how much it didn't work out, even though they thought it would. Maybe he wants to go there and just try at a lower level, maybe not such a large spotlight. He wants to go there and develop a team rather than take over a team full of kind of guys that have been there and done that. You know, that they've been in the league for so long, and maybe there's a case of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Generally, if you're looking for a new coach as an NFL team, you're not doing well. So maybe he wants to go into a kind of more level playing field. Speaking of the field, so long as he can get over that blue turf, he'll be fine. But I don't know about you, that blue turf takes some getting used to.
Oh, for sure.
But to sum up, if he goes, good luck to him. He's won the job. He's taken a high profile offense to a higher level, I think. But even to this day, we still question some red zone offensive calls. Yeah. Like there was one point in particular we got down. I think it was the first drive against the Eagles, and it stalled. In the NFL, that can be the difference between winning and losing. So maybe he wants to fine tune a little bit. Maybe he wants to not jump straight at it. I know that. I mean, there's guys his age that are certainly head coaches. I don't know. Good luck to him if he goes to Boise State because he's earned it.
Yeah, I'm a bit upset by it. I'm not going to lie, because I think he is good enough to be a damn good offensive coordinator in this league for a long time and cut his teeth here. And then if he wants to go on the coaching, head coach sort of position, by all means. Ultimately, it's not up to me. I can respect the guy for doing what he wants to do. I get the ties. Me personally, I would have been more than happy for him to have stayed. More than happy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Rich. Like he has kind of proven that in difficult circumstances. Like people would,
exactly.
His head was banged against the wall. He was like, you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that he's managed to turn things around with limited players.
Constant adjustment all season long.
All season long. I mean, that to me is a good sign of an OC that I can actually readjust and adapt. So, yeah, I'd be quite upset if Kellen does go, to be honest.
Yeah. And as we say, we got a segue into that question about Dwayne Haskins being released. Rich, I know you're dying to say something on it, so take it away.
Not really. I just think it feels like a bit of a waste, doesn't it? I mean, it feels like a waste of talent. Like, it's a waste of the guy's time, waste of the team's time. It's a waste of draft capital. It's just like, Jesus Christ. Like,
it proves my point. Doesn't matter anywhere you're in the draft, it's never a guarantee. It's a lottery. It really is.
No, Paul. I thought if you picked a quarterback high up in the draft, then you were guaranteed an absolute Super Bowl winner.
And that will be proven in the offseason when Jerry trades up for sunshine.
Shut up. No, it's not fucking happening. It's not fucking happening. No chance.
So just this is an inside joke here, folks. So we obviously have our own chat going, and yesterday
purposely trying to wake me up. Honestly,
we got Paul very
Triggered.
wound up at one stage about trading up for Trevor Lawrence. So,
Brian, just to interrupt, how much is it going to cost to move up from 32 to 1? I mean, really?
I mean, this goes back to a question we got a couple of weeks ago.
Jesus Christ, Graham.
Should we trade 4 first-round picks for it?
Yeah,
we're not Washington.
Oh, we've done
We're
this.
not Washington.
But Paul, there was a question there came in from Andrew. So if you want to bring that back up and let's have a look at that. So if anyone thinks the Dirtbirds are going to lose on purpose.
No. They got too much pride to do that. They have too much pride. Their defensive coordinator literally turned around a couple of hours ago when they were asked that question and said, yeah, there's a team out there that's planning on putting on victory caps saying they've won the NFC East in the link on their field. He's like, no, that ain't happening. Philly has too much pride to allow that to happen. They're going to play until the end, whether they're going to get through or not, me personally.
Yeah. Paul, take it away.
I don't see the Eagles backing down. I mean, like Richie just kind of put a nail in the coffin there, like just like how Washington are. They're a dead team, personally. But anyway, but in terms of the game itself, I think the Eagles are going to turn up. They'll put on the game. Like, I think, but it's going to be hard for them, really. Like, it's like if they beat Washington, we go through. But but they don't want, like, it's a lose-lose scenario regardless for Washington, because one of us are going to go through anyway. So, but the only thing that's going to keep them going is pride and them looking forward to next season, seeing what players they can keep and let go, pretty much.
They can only control what's in front of them, and at the end of the day, they ain't going to let an NFC East opponent, no matter who it is, get through.
Welcome, Fred. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
That's very true. Graham, give us your own thoughts on it.
Right, to touch on the last couple of questions, this is why they do so many questions, so many interviews, and so many player visits prior to the draft, because they want to know what's going to happen when they hand a 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-old. They want to know what's going to happen when they hand them $30 million, say half in signing bonus and guarantees.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Dwayne Haskins, it's gone to his head. He simply thinks he's a star who's made it. Once you hand him X amount of $1 million, his head left. His head went out the door. The guy is now a millionaire. He's had a short career, let's call it that. Somebody will pick him up again. But somebody picked up Robert Griffin. Somebody picked up Josh Rosen. You see where I'm going with this. Just because you're a first round pick, you can soon disappear.
Not with that. You thought about Haskins, right?
Yeah.
Aye. I thought you were talking about Carson Wentz.
No. So I mean, the guy's basically a millionaire now. Is he going to be hitting the gym as hard as he used to while at college? Is he going to be doing the 4 a.m. starts in the facility? Who knows? But he took it upon himself to do some stupid things as a leader of the Washington team, and they haven't stood for it. Good on them, because they haven't stood for it. To go into the next question, do you really see Jalen Hurts handing the job back to Carson Wentz purposefully?
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way is Jalen Hurts going to take the foot off the gas, because if he plays well, there's every chance they will try and move on from Wentz. If he plays badly, it puts Wentz right back in the driving seat for the offseason. So no chance are the Eagles going to throw this game.
No.
You actually took the point I was going to make on the whole thing, Graham, in terms of Carson. Like, Hurts is playing for a job, and if they lose, there's a potential they can bring in another quarterback with a first-round pick who's going to take the job off him. So why would he purposely lose?
Yep.
It's not possible.
I think the Eagles have actually got the next year starting quarterback already. I really do. I think I'd rather go ahead with Hurts the way how he's been playing along right now.
But the crazy thing is, Paul, with the Eagles, like, they're $50 million over the cap already, so they can't afford to cut Carson Wentz at this stage. So if they want to reduce that, they have to find a trade partner to take Carson Wentz, and they're going to suffer. They're not going to get anything like they want for him. They'd be lucky to get a sixth.
Who's going to
do a Cowboys and do a 1-2 punch?
Who's going to take on that salary?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's one of the things we always say here. You know, we can all come up with scenarios. Oh, we'll trade Dak, or we'll get rid of Dak, and someone will take him. You have to find a trade partner.
Yeah, because if the Eagles, they can't afford to cut him, and they can't afford. I suppose they could afford to keep him, but do you really want that amount of money sitting on the bench? And then you've got to say to the team that takes him, you have to take all this salary. And then
I'm smiling about the whole situation because no matter what, they're screwed.
It's fair. It's very true.
Yeah, I mean, you can't re-sign him because he won't re-sign the deal, and you can't extend him because he's already on a huge contract anyway. What are you going to do? Add more years to it?
Yeah,
no one's going to do it. No one's trading for Carson Wentz either.
It's true.
They are stuck. They
are, and it's a great thing to see. But moving back to the game itself on Sunday, and let's kind of take a look at the game itself. The offensive stats. I mean, Team 37 Burger showed up on Sunday. Not Team 40 Burger or 50 Burger, and we can only imagine what it would have been if Dak was available to play.
Oh man, it would have been a massacre.
Yeah.
It's like having some Eagle stew.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was a bit apprehensive after the first quarter. I thought it could have been a long night.
I was a
after
little bit
the first quarter, but it's almost as if they've come to terms with the kind of patchwork offensive line, and they almost, it's like you say you need to give a quarterback 3 seconds to throw the ball. It's almost as if Andy Dalton's come to terms with just having 2 and making a quick decision. And if he needs a longer play, then he'll roll out of the pocket. Like I'm thinking of that long bomb to, I think it was Cooper in the first half.
Cooper, first ball.
He rolled out
first pass.
to get rid of the
It
pass
was mad.
rush and let it go. I think the stat came up that the Cowboys have had 3 offensive plays over 50 yards, and they all happened on Sunday. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
350 plus yard plays.
Against the front 7 of the Eagles. So
Yeah.
Dalton found time somewhere, whether it was get the ball out a second quicker than he's used to, or rolling out. I mean, he's not the most athletic, but he seemed to get out, give himself that split second of opportunity to get rid of the ball. And our receivers were fantastic.
Well, it's funny that you mention our receivers. Just a wee segue question. Sorry, the dog's just come to say hello there. Should Michael Gallup be the number 1 wide receiver elsewhere if we don't re-sign him? He was a stud this week.
I put up a comment. I was on the group's chat, and I said that if the Cowboys let Michael Gallup walk away without being re-signed or traded, I would be really pissed off, because he'll be Byron Jones 2.0. Fair enough. If you don't want to sign him, don't sign him, but don't let him walk out the door either, because he's too good a player.
He's weird. He was fantastic in that game. Absolutely fantastic. And I don't know what else to say about Michael Gallup. He's had a couple of games where he's not showed up, but whenever he is on fire, he turns it up big time. His
footwork is tremendous. He knows exactly where the white line is, and he gets both feet down with ball in hand.
His second touchdown with the wee juke, and the two Eagles players clattering against each other. Oh, it was beautiful. It's like music to my ears. Screw you, Eagles. Screw you.
It's very I'd have to agree and say it's great that we have 3. Say a wide receiver, 1 A, B, and C. That's the talent we have at the receiver core.
See, for me, 1A, 1B, 1B.
Honestly, I'd say every single one of our wide receivers, Lamb, Cooper, and Gallup, are all capable of being number 1s. Every single one of them. And the fact we are so lucky to have all 3 of them healthy for this is a blessing all throughout this whole season, is to have they 3 all healthy throughout this whole season, despite what's happening right now.
Yeah. And I think it'd be unfair of us also not to give a little bit of love to Dalton Schultz.
Oh, of course. He's been.
Go on. And
Go
Mr.
on,
Bell.
Rich.
Mr. Bell made a very, very good save.
Yes.
One of those plays. All the way up there. There he is. Brings the ball down and goes. Well done, that man. Well done.
And Alfie, yes, the screens did work this week. It actually came up. It actually happened.
But yeah, I'm just the one thing I've absolutely hated since the draft, and in fairness, is I know it was layover from not the draft just gone, the one before.
Yeah.
But it was as soon as we got this wide receiver core, and we were all really hyped. We got Amari Cooper, we got Gallup, and now we got CeeDee Lamb. Straight away, people were trying to break it up, and it's like, no, just let it play out. Let it see how we're going. And at the minute, we're at the end of the season basically, and we got one of the top wide receiver cores in the league.
Yeah.
Why would you want to break that up? I get the logic of it's a strength, trade away a bit of it to address other needs on the team. I get the logic. I don't see it. And I think the perfect example for that is the team you just played, because the Eagles have been a good defensive team all year. Now, all being well...
Top 3, easily, top 3.
Exactly. So, all year, they played pretty well on defense. Now, let's say, and this is my argument this is part of my argument for why I think, I know this is a random tangent, but this is why I want to address the offensive line, and specifically left tackle, is because the offense is already a strength. The defense, yes, it's the biggest weakness. It needs addressing. I'm not saying don't do that. But what I'm saying is if you address solely the defense, you trade away your strength on offense to compensate for the defense, you are cutting off your nose to spite your face. Because what are you going to end up in is, ideally, a really good defense and hope that carries you. Well, the Eagles, it hasn't happened. It's been the complete opposite because they can't score for shit. And this team does still have problems in the red zone. We saw it last night. They should have walked away. They were on, I think it was 2nd and 1, or they had 2nd and the 3rd down, 1 yard out. And I'm just screaming, quarterback sneak, and they don't do it. They try getting cute. There's jumbo packages flying all over the place. And I'm like, do you know what? Just never mind. But this is the reason why you need to maintain the strength you've already got and then build around that. And it's probably going to take time. And I get it's annoying. But if you don't maintain this strength, you're really at crap creek. Because just because everyone gets romantic ideals of the saying of defenses win championships. And it is true. But there's plenty of times where offensive teams have been that good that they've won it.
Yeah.
I think it's a trap. I really do. I think if you neglect to keep the offense a strength, it will come back and bite us in the ass. At least in the best case scenario in terms of winning games. The worst case scenario was even worse than that. We've seen what we're like without Dak. Yes, everyone has played phenomenal. Zeke has played well this game. He's had his struggles before, but the offensive line has had its struggles, which is a big problem for this team, a run-first team in itself. Yes, we've got a good wide receiver core now. We have a lot of pieces to score a lot of points on people. That's hard for a defense to stop, even the best defenses. Don't trade away, or be so ready to trade away a big strength just to compensate for a big weakness. I get the logic behind it, I really do, but don't rush to do it. Take your time. We've got time. People think we don't have time or we don't have cap space. We actually do. Don't panic.
Yes. No, that's very true. Like, we do have time, we do have cap space, but there was a little segue there in. It's kind of covered between yourself and Graham there, Rich, and I'll throw it to you, Paul. In terms of saying Michael Gallup, look, at the end of this season, we have to make a decision whether we re-sign him, which is going to cost us a shit ton of money, or do we try and do we look to trade him and get something approaching a 2nd or 1st round pick to improve the defense?
It's just
you're Will McClay. You tell us what you do.
It really depends what Gallup's looking for. Like if he's willing to do a team friendly deal, but he would get more incentives outside of football, then great. He'll still make his money from that. That'd be the best scenario. If not, then the only thing I could see would be trading them away, unfortunately. But I would love to keep him as much as I want. Like I would try to offer him a good deal where it can be also team friendly, but can also be maybe close to the range what he may be kind of looking for. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's that ballpark in the middle type of thing. So hopefully with a little bit of magic sprinkled on top, we might get that. But realistically, I don't know. I really don't know what is going to happen, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. All I'm going to say is I hope Michael Gallup re-signs. I really do. And we do not have to trade him away. By God, if there's one thing I hope that's never going to happen is do a Byron Jones again, which we just mentioned. That cannot happen. That cannot happen ever again. Cannot happen.
Yeah, it would be very nice if you could get your quarterback signed so you didn't have to use the franchise tag on him, because then that would be free.
That could, And
he's still contracted through next season, so we don't need to worry about that. But Graham, I can see you shaking your head. Give us your thoughts.
Nah, I understand about the whole team friendly deal thing, but according to overthecap.com, to the end of this season, Michael Gallup has made $2.5 million in his career.
Yeah.
It's not a lot when you compare it.
Career.
Yeah.
Now, somebody out there is willing to offer Michael Gallup first receiver money. We cannot offer Michael Gallup first receiver money. I understand the sentimentality about it. I understand, stick around, stick with us. We've got a good thing going here. But how many times have we seen in the league a player drafted low and he wants to make his money? Somebody will pay Michael Gallup number one receiver money at the moment. That is upward of $20 million because Amari Cooper is on 25.
Yeah.
So I don't see Michael Gallup taking 10, 11, even $12 million. I think he'll be looking to maximise his next deal. The problem with that is other teams know that. So the longer we wait on Michael Gallup, the less we're going to get for him, because as it gets to the middle of the 2021 season, who's going to offer up a first round pick for Michael Gallup when they could quite easily pay him stupid money in the off season?
Yeah,
they've got to maximise on his deal at some point. Otherwise, it's going to be Byron Jones 2.0.
It has to be this off season. A deal or a trade has to happen.
Yeah.
It cannot be end of next season. It cannot, or halfway through the season. Because like you just said there, Graham, like as the season goes further ahead, even though I may be playing a ball of a game, he'll say, like, no, I'm not going to re-sign it. I'm going to move into free agency. All the other teams are going to raise their arms and praise him, like, yes, we can actually get ourselves a first round receiver, blah, 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 whatever, not, and not have to worry about the trade, like going to the draft or whatever, and not. Like, there's a proven record with Gallup. You know, he's proven it and time again in previous seasons, over 1,000 yards. So, yeah, it's like I said, I just don't know what we're going to do. It's a mystery when it comes to Gallup. It really is.
Yeah. So, Rich, I'm going to throw this one over to you. Man who had a sneaky good game on Sunday that none of us even noticed until it happened. Ezekiel Elliott. Discuss.
Yeah, well, what is there to discuss? The offensive line played a good game. His numbers were up and he was playing well and he was old school Zeke. I'm amazed. You can see the amazement on my face. I'm very, truly shocked. Like, what more is there to say, really? I've been saying it all season long. The offensive line is the issue. Everything starts in the trenches. This isn't hard. This isn't a case of Zeke has lost his step. Yes, he's had problems. That's been blatantly obvious, but that's been holding onto the ball. There's been no gaps. He's always been a runner that when he gets to the second level, that's when he goes. He pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds, and when you get worn down, then he goes, and then he burns you, unless there's a gaping hole. Yeah. If there's a hole there, he'll fit through it and he'll fight through it, and he showed that. This is Zeke. People seem to have forgotten what Zeke is. They say, oh, Zeke's changed. It's like, no, the perception of Zeke has somehow changed, be it probably through desperation, because we've lost Dak and half the offensive line, or the majority, all the offensive line is gone throughout the season. It's just, it's maddening, but I wasn't surprised in any way, shape, or form. It was very nice to see. It was nice to see the offensive line playing well, especially against a good defense. But I'm not amazed. I'm really not. But it was very nice to see.
So, Paul, I know you've just deleted the tweet or comment that came in there, but what do we have to say about this team?
What the Giants? What? I saw the Giants
comment.
You guys suck. Who are you guys? Come on, you've got bloody Daniel Jones, for goodness sake. You've got Eli too, morphed into a complete pile of compost, a pile of shit, motherfucker.
Who was it? Because I didn't see it.
No.
So we had a comment in from a Giant supporter, but what is it? Imitation is the best form of flattery. I mean, Giants fans, you are welcome. We enjoy you coming on to view our podcast. It's great to have the interaction with you, but you're still going to lose on Sunday.
Piggyback onto us for some sort of recognition. It's fine. We're cool with it. If I find out that was you, Andy, I'm going to be ripping you after this.
No, it wasn't him. Guys, can we go back to the talkers of Zeke? I just want to kind of when you really do think about it, do you find the past 5-7 weeks, this lingering injury might have been the whole reason why Zeke wasn't playing very well? Like,
Paul, that's a very, very good question. Maybe we should expand on that.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, you guys actually already answered that?
No, I fully agree.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Wow, you
that wasn't me being like.
That wasn't me being more sarcastic as fuck there. Fuck's sake.
That wasn't me necessarily being sarky with you. That was me being sarky with people out there having to pop at Zeke, not realizing that, as you've just highlighted, over the past couple of weeks, he's had some fucking injury issues going on.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. It's
not just that. It's the amount of times you got first contact behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
There's that as well.
It even happened on Sunday night. But you still got 105 yards, 5.5 per carry, and he caught every single one of his passes as well. That was
Straight passes.
I mean, that was Zeke of old. And long may it continue.
It's like first contact behind the line, like you said, and he's making it back to the line, if not past it, like still getting like 3 yards. And it's like, you're complaining about that? I'm happy with that. Yeah, Jamie's on point. Yes, Jamie.
I mean, look.
Yes.
Probably, Tim, probably.
I'd say this. Zeke has been played injured. It's clear as day. But Zeke felt he needed to be out there because Dak wasn't there. Zeke, even though he might not have a C on his name plate, is still a captain on this team for me. And he realised his importance to the team. Went out, played injured, played banged up. Got a week off last week. Tony Pollard took advantage of that, lit a fire under his ass, and we saw Zeke go for 100 yards.
I mean, it's not rocket science, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. But moving over to the defensive side of the ball, I mean, I saw a stat this week, or in either today or yesterday, that we have now become a top 10 team in terms of turnovers. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, I think we've the most.
Year, man.
2020, WTF? What the fuck?
I mean, it's almost like you get pictures of, like, you know how all the playbooks are in PDFs, whether it be iPad or Surface tablets or whatever and so on.
Yeah.
And it's like Mike Nolan has emailed the whole defense and he's gone, yeah, guys, you know the answer to all your questions. That's actually on the second PDF that I sent you. And the whole team's gone, that's it. No way! And they've read this entire PDF, and everything's just clicked. You know, it's the second document that nobody's ever seen until 3 weeks ago, and now everything's just fallen right into place.
Very good point from Lorne right there.
Yeah.
It's a respiratory disease.
Yeah.
It's just a shame we're not talking about this defense in the middle of October.
Yeah,
it's just. I mean, even though we're still in a position to go to take the division, and possibly do something in the playoffs. I mean, I'll admit, 2 weeks ago, I wrote the season off. I thought, it's not in our own hands anymore. But see, ever since Mike put up that graphic of what's needed to be done, there's an awful lot of green ticks on that graphic now. And everything just seems to be falling into place at the right time. Yeah, we are turning hot when we need to.
Praise the Lord.
It was frustrating. Where was this conversation in
Mate,
October?
I said this months ago. It would be the most 2020 thing and the most Cowboys things ever if they made the playoffs and made a run.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, could you imagine, like, I know I'm maybe getting a wee bit ahead of myself. I mean, we're Cowboys fans. What do you expect? We like to think about Super Bowl all the time. But what if we did get to the Super Bowl with that 7-9 record and win? That'd be in the history books.
Yeah.
That's one for the statisticians out there. Has anybody ever gone to the Super Bowl with a losing record?
And not only just that, the number of players that we lost and all that shenanigans is like you couldn't write that. That whole book itself would be bigger than the bloody AA pages.
Oh God! Can you imagine the questions that would come from that? Can you imagine? I mean, I know this is hypothetical, and I know we're getting carried away with ourselves. But can you imagine Andy Dalton ended up with a ring? Would you let him walk out the door?
No.
No.
But would you keep back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still keep both.
But how would you keep a Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Well, Dalton
Eagles did it.
Well, we'll put it this way: Dalton could have went elsewhere for a 4-year contract, but he decided to come to Dallas for a 1-year contract worth like
True.
$1.5 million or
Yeah.
something like that. $3 million, sorry. Cheers.
Three, yeah.
Yeah.
But even that, even if we sign him in for another year, it could be like 4.5 or whatever. Not he'll be like, yeah, great, wonderful, you know.
Yeah. No, it's very true.
Oh,
So-
there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle as well. There we go. Cheers, Austin.
There you go.
Thanks for that.
Again,
Austin's the boy.
he is.
I need to laugh whenever you get ready for Armageddon.
I mean,
Cowboys make it to the Super
Fair
Bowl and then
play, mate.
Armageddon,
Fair
I'll die
play.
happy.
Fair play.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if Mike is reading my mind, right? Because this was just what I was about to come to. Sorry. It's this one here.
Am I not supposed to be controlling the comments, you?
At quarter time, sorry, Paul. At quarter time, we saw Sean Lee light a fire under that defense at 14 points to 3. I mean,
So, are you telling me?
about that.
Go on.
Go on, Rich.
Is it? Are we talking about Sean Lee's retirement a bit early? You know, is there a possibility we see Sean Lee for another year? Because what a fire he's lit.
Mm.
I mean, I understand. Maybe not be a starter. Obviously, maybe not be a starter. Maybe we bring somebody in the draft. But he's made a hell of a difference. And I don't know if the Cowboys should be ready to just let him wander into coaching. I just wonder if there's a decent offer made. You know, maybe you put the helmet and the cleats back on for one more season. Let's see what happens. Because he doesn't strike me as the type to just walk away.
Maybe. Yeah, I get that.
Maybe his body's just given up, but we did not see a given up body on Sunday.
I just need to ask. I need to ask Valenti a question. I'm curious to know what he's talking about here. What are you on about, Andrew? Please send in a comment and did. Just want to know what it is we are actually be more specific about. Did.
I think it's probably making the Super Bowl, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right.
I would imagine.
Well, I mean, look, let's be honest about this, right? Sean Lee has played a very restricted role this season. Okay?
Right. Okay.
But Sean Lee is so important to this team. Sean Lee is the captain of this defense. It doesn't matter if he is not playing. He is the captain. He is the leader. He's the guy who everyone on that team would follow into hell.
Oh, absolutely.
So anyone saying, get rid of Sean Lee, it's time he's cut, you need a reality check. Absolute reality check, because Sean Lee should not be allowed to go anywhere away from Dallas.
Oh, wait a minute. Valenti, are you freaking high? Come on, man. Why?
Is this miscommunication again?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Andy.
Don't do this to me, Andy. No.
It's what he said about Des.
We're talking about here and now. Come on.
No, not Des, Andy. No. I'm going back in time, Andy. No.
No, Sean Lee has come into this defense and turned it around, Andy. Come on.
Right.
Since Van Der Esch went out with his injury, we've seen a marked improvement on defense.
There is a big difference between Des Bryant's type of leadership and Sean Lee's type of leadership. Sean Lee is a do what I do. He leads by example. And he gets in, he knows how to talk to people, he can get them hyped up, and he can go from there. Des Bryant shouts on the sideline. Yes, he's full of pop. He goes like nothing, and he will fight until the end. But those are two different kinds of leadership.
That's a great comment.
Yes, that is a very good point. It's almost as if, going back to what Mike said, it's almost as if we were not talking out of our asses when we said a couple of weeks ago that Sean Lee is a born leader. You know, it's almost as if we know what we're on about. You could see it, like literally, the guy was around, like I said before, he was the only guy that was around in 2014 that galvanized that defense to play the way they did. The guy knows what the F he's on about. The guy knows what he's doing. People follow him for a reason. Like you just said, they would follow him into the pits of hell. Like if you want to get rid of Sean Lee, if you want him to transfer to coaching, if he's ready to transfer to coaching, more for him. I'll support him all the way. But like if you're ready to trade him or get rid of him or cut him, give me your address because I'll send you a clown card because I really do think you deserve one. It's beyond.
Graham.
And I respect anyone to have their own opinion on it. I really do. And I respect Danny's opinion and I get where he's coming from with Des, but they are two very, very different types of leader, Andy. Very different types.
I've came to the decision, not a decision. I've came to the view where, and Graham, you'll hate what I'm about to say here. Sean Lee's like the equivalent of Scott Brown to Glasgow Celtic.
Just to be very quick,
but
very, very quick.
Right? You know where I'm coming from, right?
To be very, very quick, I'm popping and say Haskins is unclaimed off of waivers.
Yep, I just saw the comments coming up there.
Yeah, no surprise. No surprise. Nobody's going to pick up that contract with the way he's acting. Absolutely no chance.
Man, acting like a fool.
All you were reading my mind, I was about to bring that up as well.
That's a brilliant.
Lauren's on fire tonight.
We love you, Lord.
Can we get Lorne on as a special guest in the future? Because I feel like the hot takes and the reactions on that would just be fire.
We need to get Lorne on
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure. Lord, you let us know when you want to come on. We'll let you on.
Make yourself available, young man.
We're turning into Robocop there.
Yeah.
But Paul, Randy Gregory, discussed.
Oh,
Yes! My boy.
Man, I've been rooting for this guy. Like,
Yep.
try to really display it. Like, it's just all because he had his personal demons with smoking a bit of green, pretty much for whatever it needs to, like, get off his chest and that. But for him to now come back, re-energized, and come in and put in the performance since he's been back in the squad, it's just been absolutely fantastic. And and the best part, like, we still go at him for 3 years because he's missed those couple of years out because he's still in his rookie contract.
I think he has 1 year to go.
I'm pretty sure it was more than 2. I'm pretty sure, but
no, I think it's only next season because I think he played 2. This is his 3rd, and the next one is his 4th. He was the second round pick, so it's only 4 years.
Randy is not going anywhere else.
Well, he is getting B-side. I would. Oh, you joking?
Randy will not willingly go anywhere else. I will bet my mortgage on it.
Yeah, I don't think I think Gregory is now at the point where he would feel a bit awkward going somewhere else, despite what the Cowboys have done for him to get him back on the field. And not only just that, man, it's like it's just such a different dynamic when you see him play. Honestly, it really is. And it's something that, like,
beasting. It's like Lauren was saying earlier. He's always around the ball. As soon as something happens and it gets past, he's there.
He's got the attributes. He's got the speed. He's got the physicality. He's got the awareness, right? And we're seeing it week by week now. The progression the steps he's making now. Oh man, like I'm just looking forward to see what he does against the Giants this week against that trash.
The one thing I loved was that earlier on last week, it was in a separate Cowboys Facebook group, and someone was saying that basically Randy had done. It was all really good, but he needed to basically get the numbers up and get on the box score numbers up. And then obviously I turned around and said something along the lines of, no, you need to give him more time. Realistically, he's not had much. He's not had much continuity. Stop smoking what he's stopped smoking.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does that. And he literally says in his press conference, people probably doubted me because it was one of my better games because people who don't understand the game as much go too much by the box score. That's literally what that guy had done, and I was just really glad to see it, just because of the comments that have been during the week, and then he goes and does that. I'm just like, don't even know the guy, and I'm so proud of him. Like, Jesus Christ, well done.
Yeah,
like, keep doing that, young man.
Graham, for a guy who had limited snaps on Sunday, I mean, it's rolling through the screen there. He had 6 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss, a pass defended, and 2 quarterback hits. I mean, what can you
hits? They were hits.
It's always good to see a rotation, and if you can bring guys off the bench, fresh legs off the bench, it always makes a difference. Also, having Gregory around for another year makes the signing of kind of the extension. I know we're talking about early for this, but the extension of Alden Smith, it kind of makes him less of not a total loss of priority, but if we weren't to keep Alden Smith, it's not the end of the world, because you do have an alternative. You can put Gregory in for the 2021 season. You can maybe negotiate a lower deal for Tyrone Crawford as well. If you don't get Smith done, it's not the end of the world. I would still like to see them offer an extension to Smith. I think the start of the season was better than towards the end, but he is still part of the rotation. He's still part of the chat now. So if we can get Alden Smith extended, it makes defensive end a very, very low priority in the draft. And if you can make it, the more positions you can make lower in the draft, the better, because it allows you to stock up on your talent.
I'm going to step into when it comes to Philadelphia's comment here. We do have Bradley and but he's just injured right now. We've not actually had the glimpse to see him yet. And this guy, I'm so looking forward to see him when he does get on the football field, because back in his college days, he was an absolute machine. He was a force. He had the speed, and that's one thing we didn't really have, was the speed element. Now we've got Gregory back, we do have even that additional speed factor in comes to the pass rush.
Am I mistaken in saying that they cut what's his name? I've just brain farted. The guy that they cut with the leg injury, they had it written into the contract and they cut him before the season started.
Gerald
McCoy. Did they not get him back? Because didn't they basically turn around and say that we're cutting him, but he's coming back?
I think we just cut him just to fight for the cap purposes. I'm pretty sure for anyone else we do bring in for other positions. But
there was basically an understanding there that he was coming back.
McCoy wants to come back. He wants to play for he was so excited to come and get signed for Dallas. He wants to do it there and ball out, right? And we saw, and I said this, forget the other two that we signed from Carolina. Forget him, right? But the difference was, you saw the difference when you compare the clown that is Dontari Poe to Jared McCoy. Who was the one in that off season? Who was the one in that whole off season that was actually putting the work in, losing the weight, getting in shape, getting right for this? Knowing it was going to be a difficult time, not knowing when you're going to be at training camp. You know what I mean? So and he was so, and not just that. When we signed Gallimore in the draft, you saw his reaction. He was like, let's go, and all that. So McCoy wants to play for us. He is excited to be part of the organization, and he knows it himself that him getting cut is a decision. And like everyone knows, there is understanding they're going to bring him back in. So I am all up for that.
I mean, I think I'm just going to pull up a comment here, Paul, but from Lorne, I think Alden Smith kind of has hit a rookie wall. And look, let's not be unfair to Alden Smith. He was very good in the first 5-6 games, and it's unfair to expect him to have kept up those numbers. But if you look at a rotation next year of, say, at defensive end, you have Alden Smith, Randy Gregory, Tank, Dorrance Armstrong, who's quietly had a very good season, Bradley and that's five ends, and then the defensive tackle, Tristan Hill, Gallimore, Gerald McCoy potentially coming back, and say
that's a nice rotation.
Woods. that lessens the need for at defensive line in the draft.
Yes, it does.
I think we will pick up either a defensive tackle or a defensive end somewhere in the draft again, just for the numbers' sake. I think it's more competition going into the off season next year, and maybe even free agency going on the off season. But you're right. You're absolutely right, Brian. Yeah.
I'm just going to pull up. Go on, Graham.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that we're set along the defensive front. Remember, we've had a lot of issues. So let's.
You're right.
They're crawling back to average. Let's not get too carried away.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is down to because the fact that it's the new scheme and stuff like that, and we can blame Mike Nolan all we want or Mike McCarthy. And I'm just trying to think as well. Like, wasn't Mike McCarthy's first season with Green Bay like 4-12? Then the season after that, he went on to do greater things, winning seasons, going to the Super Bowls, and going to the Super Bowl and going to the playoffs and whatever and that. So it's kind of annoying, like. The first years, it was always going to be like that kind of rebuilding process. Well, it's certainly been rebuilding, that's for sure. We've been changing left, right, centre, all over the shop, putting players wherever. You know what I mean?
Cheers, Chris.
I
mean, it's one of the.
It's great. It's great to get comments in from someone from Texas. So, Chris, thanks very much. We wanted to shout that out. As we say, people, get your comments in. Otherwise, we're four guys talking about American football amongst ourselves. But, we really appreciate feedback like that. So thank you, Chris.
I feel warm and fuzzy.
Thanks very much. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Much appreciated. That's awesome. But yeah, just to go back to the kind of upcycle of the defense, I think I said in the podcast after McCarthy was appointed that he makes average players good and good players great. But it doesn't happen overnight. So it's going to take time, but I think you're starting to see the kind of upscale in the players and we are starting to get excited about the defensive line. I just want to make sure that the momentum continues because we've talked about it during the season that we've seen good performances and it's fallen flat on its face the next week. So
it's the momentum. We seem to have one of these good games, then next week we just fall back down to square one again. I just hope after this game we just stick to the same type of trait, like drill sets, whatever. And when it comes to whatever the training session is going to be, is like keep it simple, keep it relative, keep the team motivated, keep them hungry going for this game. Because at the end of the day, we still have a chance to win this division. It's an all or nothing game.
And I don't know if this is in the list, Brian, but I just want to give another shout out to Jalen Smith. 11 tackles. Again, a lot of people don't like the look of Jalen Smith. They seem to think that he's overpaid and he does a lot of silly things. But 11 tackles, you cannot argue with that.
Yes, I agree.
You do not get rid of your top tackler on defense. It simply doesn't happen.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Jalen to bits, but there has been moments where I was like, what was he doing? Like, especially the Bengals game in particular, where he completely went away from his assignment, thinking the running back was going off to the right, and completely disregarded his gap. And you see the running back in and filling into that gap, and it was pretty much a touchdown that play. I'm pretty sure, or it was like a long gain. But either way, not sticking to your gap assignment is a big no-no. So that's the only thing I'm really critical of Jalen is like he just seems to like, oh, I see the running back going away. He's going that direction now. I need to leave my assignment. No, like it's like trust your teammates to do that job. Yeah. So, but other than that, Jalen has been great. Like he has been I can't
go on, Rich.
It's like we said weeks ago, or the question was asked weeks ago, I think, by you, Brian. Do you think Jalen's trying to do too much?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's true. It's very true. But I want to touch on something. And look, we all know I'm the resident secondary guy who loves to see cornerbacks and safeties playing big. I mean, let's talk about the secondary at the weekend. I mean, look, we're in the same way as we're talking about the defensive line, we're not saying this secondary is elite. It's nothing close to elite yet. But these guys are
It's
stepping
on
in,
the
they're
up.
making plays. They've made, I think, 2 interceptions in their last 3 games. You know, I mean, I think it's time we give them a little bit of credit.
They're earning the credit now, though. In complete fairness, they are earning the credit.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think...
sorry, guys, I'm getting a lot more comments in regards to Jalen here. Being treated with Jalen's been kind of Jalen is trying too much, which become too much sometimes. Agreed.
There you go.
I brought this up just quickly earlier. Opinion on the fumble recovery, guys?
Yeah, Alfie. That should be... Go back and watch that for anyone who hasn't, because it was pretty quick and it didn't get shown.
It was.
I think it only got shown once in terms of Jalen actually coming in on the replay during the game. It was perfect. Philly actually recovered that ball and he went in and stole it.
He ripped it out.
And it was perfect. I mean, the guy's on there. He's got his arm around it. His arm goes in at the perfect angle, scoops it, pulls it out, and he rolls. And then he protects it, and he's on top of it. And then it's his. It was perfection. That should be taught at every level of how you go in, how you attack a ball at the bottom of the pack. It was amazing. It was genuinely on point. Genuinely on point.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, myself and yourself would be more rugby guys than anything. I mean, was that not reminiscent of Martin Williams going into
It's reminiscent of Martin Williams. It's reminiscent of what's his face? I've forgotten his name. He plays for Wales. Bloody blue cap. Tipperick. It's reminiscent of Tipperick. Yeah, goes in. Anytime he's around the ball, he goes in. You know you're at risk of getting a turnover. It was genuinely a teachable moment. Go back and watch it. And watch it a couple times, and you will appreciate just how perfect the angle is, the speed is, everything was, how many things had to go right with how he's coming in to get that ball, because Philly had already recovered it technically. It was brilliant. If his arm hadn't got in and he's just a shoulder, he's not getting that ball. Philly are keeping it. It was amazing. It really was.
I mean, again, I'm still seeing comments flying in about Jalen and some direction, and I'm seeing some great comments about Sean Lee as a linebackers coach, and giving Jalen the direction. I mean, I think that's the one benefit Jalen has had his whole career with the Dallas Cowboys is having someone like Sean Lee with him and teaching him on an everyday. But if we segue back towards the secondary, I mean, Trayvon Diggs, I think, has 3 interceptions on the season. Anthony Brown's had has had an interception in his last 2 games. I mean, who's lit a fire under this secondary's ass?
I don't know, but I have no idea, but it must be that Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
Mate, it's that or there's something magic he's putting other than candy in those watermelons, because Jesus Christ, if you scale up what they've done over the past couple of weeks to a full season where they're actually freaking playing, and then take a bit off for reality's sake. Those are good numbers, man. Those are good numbers.
I just wanted to bring up this comment from Lauren here. Like, interesting use using Lewis as a safety this weekend.
I saw that comment, and do you know something? I'm actually gonna counter that and say I was very disappointed with Jordan Lewis. He whiffed on the tackle. He whiffed on the tackle against Jalen Hurts, where Jalen Hurts was called back for being out of bounds on the touchdown.
He did.
He went to shoulder him rather than stand him up and hit him with a tackle. Again, Rich, myself and yourself as rugby guys, we'd be ashamed to see a rugby guy tackle like that. And I mean, Jordan has good and he is very bad at times. And for a guy who potentially this is his last game as a Cowboy, he still needs a lot to convince me of giving him a new deal.
He's inconsistent. He has been inconsistent this year. Yeah. But it's, do you give him a bit of a pass because everything that's gone on, it's like they are pulling it together and he is playing better now, but he's still inconsistent.
Yeah. That's my issue.
You just highlighted it.
Like if you look at Donovan Wilson over the last...
I was just a bit so
and Leighton Van Der Esch didn't play.
Yeah. If you look at Donovan Wilson over the last 6 to 8 games that he has started for the team, The guy has not whiffed on one tackle. He has laid the friggin' wood.
He has brought down
Dave.
a hammer.
Yeah.
Rod Marinelli.
I tell you what, though. See that bloody late hit, that supposed late hit? That was bullshit. That was complete bullshit. Like, he hit him out of bounds. How's that a late fucking hit? Fuck off, NFL referees, man. Seriously.
Rod Marinelli is hating the fact that he does not have Wilson on his team.
Yeah. Graham, I'm going to bring you back in because I could see your eyes lighting up there on that.
Yeah. Right, okay. I invite comments on this one. I invite you guys to shoot me down. Is there any stock in or ascendancy at turnovers from the cornerback and the safety secondary, whatever you want to call it? Is there any stock in playing against Nick Mullins and playing against Ryan Finley and playing against Jalen Hurts, as opposed to Garoppolo, as opposed to Burrow, as opposed to whoever the Eagles want to throw up? Are we seeing an ascendancy because we're seeing lower play at the QB position? That's all I'm putting out. I'm delighted. Delighted the turnovers have come back. But is there any stock in it?
I would counter that by saying these are divisional opponents. Garoppolo, brilliant.
It's Jimmy G, mate. It's Jimmy G we're talking about.
Yeah. I would say you can only play what's in front of you. And you can only intercept what's thrown at you. So I would say in terms of interceptions, they've done what they can. I mean, it's not their fault they're not facing Joe Burrow, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jalen Hurts. The Carson Wentz is so bad at his job that he's lost it. I mean, it's not the Dallas Cowboys secondary's fault that those events have happened. So I do get where you're coming from, Graham, and say, how would they do against an Aaron Rodgers or potentially a Tom Brady in a playoff game? I think they would do just as well against Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is a different story. Yeah.
The point of the matter is, like you said, and like the great Brian Broders always says, you can always only play what's in front of you. And you have to seize opportunities when they come your way. And up until recently, they haven't been. Or they've been close. Now they're doing it. Now, it doesn't matter whether you do it against Philly. It doesn't matter whether you do it against the Jets. It doesn't matter whether you do it against Kansas City. If you get opportunities come your way, you need to take advantage of them. And at the minute, they did it, winning but to the tune of 20-plus points on a divisional opponent. Anything can happen in a divisional game. Don't forget, a couple of seasons ago, when we were running over this whole entire league and went 13-3, New York swept us. And they were a shit team that year. But they swept us. You've got to take, if you can take advantage of opportunities that come your way, you're going to win ball games. That's all you can really ask of people. It doesn't matter who you're playing. And right now, they're doing it. Yeah, that's the simple base truth of it. I get your point. I understand it. It's a valid point, and Chris agrees with you. And to a point, I agree with you. It's a meritocracy. That's the way it is. But you can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean, if you flip that over to our offensive side of the ball, right? How many interceptions has Andy Dalton given up in his last 3 or 4 games? I think it's only the one at this weekend. It's the one at this weekend.
Well, he threw. What was it? It was like one in like 100 and like the high 100 and something passes.
Yeah,
I swear it was higher than that.
22, I think. But that's like in 4 games he's had 1, and he's the backup. He's playing with a shit offensive line. And that's, I mean, we can turn around and say, yes, he's playing with 3 elite wide receivers and a couple of tight ends who are catching absolutely everything that's thrown at them. But these guys are only doing what they can do, against who they have. But before we wrap up the show, I want to give a bit of love to our special teams because, they have improved significantly in recent weeks. And the stats are rolling through the screen, but guy I want to give a huge bit of shout out to, CJ Goodwin.
Oh man, CJ Goodwin was the one that almost got the ball recovery.
Close.
It was just that was
so
out of bounds.
Close.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're talking an inch at most.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah. That needs to happen more often. First off, I mean, him being brought in to spy, but second of all, adjustment. Actually seeing an adjustment brilliantly and seeing it working. Yeah, that was really fun to see us do that. But Goodwin needs to be brought in more often to do it because clearly he can do it.
Yeah.
Now, yes, Philly's offense, genuine question, but he's capable.
Yeah. I mean, I think Goodwin was the guy who went. Did Goodwin go? Was it him that threw the pass on special teams play a couple of weeks ago? That led to an 80-yard return. I know he was involved, but I mean, for a special teams player, Goodwin is so important to us.
That's a good question.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
my memory.
But I mean, I'll throw the other question then. How good is it that we can make a bloody cup of tea when there's a field goal or an extra point about to be kicked?
That's amazing.
It's been a.
I've missed it.
I mean,
I've missed it. Jack and Coke.
or a Jack and Coke.
I mean, Zurloin has struggled recently. I think there was one game where he missed 3 field goals.
Yeah.
But it was better. It was better on Sunday. It was good to see them get my kind of take on special teams. It was good to see them do more sensible things, like not punt, like not call a fake on a 4th and 10. For instance, do the simple things like by all means, call a fake punt when you have a 17-point lead. That's the time to do it. For me, it's not. I mean, give your defense, who are ascending at the moment, give them a good bit of field position to work with. You know, don't do silly things like turn the ball over in your own half. Get the ball down the other end of the field and start again. Basically, they've kind of cut out a lot of the fake, and I think we're better for it.
Yeah, I think Brian's just run off to go and hug Tim for that comment.
Was that a touchdown we saw there?
It's a free ship. This is mutiny right now.
Yeah, Tim. You know? I would lock your doors right now. After you right now. Honestly, guys, we are loving comments from you guys over across the pond right now. Chris, thanks again. Tim, guys, we appreciate it. We just try to do our best to dissect and break down the game, and especially in the pre-game as well, what we think, how our chances are going to win in terms of the post-game. We try
no, he's coming back. Hi, Brian. Hi, glad to have you back.
I thought you were up to Texas to give somebody a hug.
I thought that was quick, you coming back from Texas.
But another guy I want to give a shout out to, Hunter Niswander. Hunter Supreme.
Yeah, but for coming in for Chris Jones, man, he's been great.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw, not this week, I think his average last week was 47 yards a punt, which has been 5 yards longer than Chris Jones in recent years.
He's made some very nice kicks.
Our new punter?
He's made some very nice kicks.
Yeah.
Very, very nice kicks. Very nice landings. He's efficient. Yeah, he's efficient. There's more, it just seems to be more frequent that people are getting, or the ball is in an opportunity where they could be getting pinned back, as opposed to just going straight out the end zone, straight out the end zone, straight out the end zone, which is reliable. You know what you're dealing with, but at the end of the day.
Do you remember when the off season when we still had Greg Delayed and we had Kai Forbath?
Yeah.
Maybe battle the kickers and that. This could be the off season of battle of the punters now.
Might be.
It might be.
I mean, it puts them on notice, certainly. You know, for
Either way, someone's got to pick him up if he doesn't sign with us next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good having a battle. Punters are people too. So
trade up to number one. Trade up to number one. Take a punter.
Prime example. That he may be a punter, but he can make some plays and make some hits.
Oh, mate,
it's very true. But I think we've gone way over time. Mike Poland is having a coronary right now, looking at us going for an hour and 20 minutes.
It's fine. Mike won't mind.
Before we do go, obviously, Graham, we're going to get you to give the shout out to our sponsor. Before we go,
so folks, if you're planning to go to a game next year, make sure you go with Cowboys Experience. Are we going to bring the? There we go. Make sure you go with Cowboys Experience. A couple of us have been lucky enough. I haven't just yet, but hopefully I will in the near future. A couple of the guys have been fortunate enough to go with Cowboys Experience, treated like royalty. Paul and Jamie will back up every single word there. Yep. Use the discount code UK Cowboys and you'll get free stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. And what's the other wee message, Rich?
Don't be a clown. Get free stuff.
There we go.
There we go. So,
and if you're Philly, suck a dick.
Also, Mike's just posted. Join us on New Year's Eve. Join us with a beer and a whiskey. So yeah, be sure
the drinks are available.
New Year's Eve.
Be sure 9 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Mike,
UK time.
UK time. So that is, I believe that's 4 o'clock on the East Coast, 3 o'clock Dallas time, and 1 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yep.
But and also just a shout out from Jamie that there will be a virtual tailgate again on Saturday or on Sunday before the game with the Giants. So make sure and check out our Facebook, our Twitter, our Bebo, our Bebo, yes.
Did
Bebo.
You just say Bebo?
Oh, I'm about to drop MySpace as well. But make sure and check us out on all of our social media outlets.
I'm sorry, Linkin Park just came out with their debut album, apparently. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you on, Brian? I'm the one that's been drinking here tonight throughout the show, not you.
Yeah, me too. I just finished up my rum.
3 cans of Heineken.
You do it. That's not Heineken. That looks like tomato juice with that little thing round it. Plus, it's Heineken. Plus, it's Heineken.
That's
lightweight. Piss matter. Anyway, cry, Eagles, cry on the way to misery. Oh, yes.
Oh, but sorry, before we go, Rich, do you want to reveal the hidden message behind the Twitter Ode to Parfum message?
I'm going to do it. It was a bit of a childish thing by me. I'll admit. I'll hold my hands up.
What?
Yeah, I probably should have done it for my own one. But anyway, if you abbreviate Eau de Parfum, so the tweet was Eau de Parfum, and it's the newest fragrance. It was like Cry Eagles Fries, the new fragrance for the Eagles. But there's a hidden message. If you abbreviate Eau de Parfum, it's EDP. And anyone who doesn't know, EDP is a very prominent YouTuber. So if you abbreviate it, it goes EDP, and then obviously the semicolon. So it's to him, Cry Eagles Cry. So it's basically a direct message saying, suck it.
And on that note, tune in Thursday night, 9 o'clock UK time. Catch us. Our podcast is on YouTube. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. Anywhere you get your streaming services, we are there.
All the
it's
things
available for download. As we say, it's even on MySpace and Bebo. But Paul, good night from you.
Good night.
Rich.
Good night from me and Tom from Facebook.
Great.
Tom, it's MySpace.
Oh, MySpace. There we go. See, it's so old, I forget.
See you next time.
Good night, folks, and take care. And
Oh
go
my
Longhorns.
God, I screwed that up. That was amazing. Bye bye.